found a tube, and the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time.
The Narcissist Coterie. Makeup man gets nasty. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. People often talk about the flying monkeys of the narcissist. I don't like that phrase, and if you want to know why, go to the Knowledge Vault and obtain the truth about flying monkeys. A much more accurate description relates to lieutenants of the narcissist, people, for instance, like Omid Scobie, although he has found himself somewhat shelved as of late, Misan Harriman, who also has gone rather quiet as of late, and coterie members. Coterie members are rather interesting, because these are the people that generally support the narcissist. They don't show the necessarily slavish devotion of the lieutenant, but they are dedicated and supportive of the narcissist. They are invariably blinded to the behaviour of the narcissist, or, in certain instances, they see that the narcissist has shortcomings, but simply shrug and explain them away and remain supportive of the narcissist. For many people, this is rather baffling. You would think to yourself, I can see that this person is a narcissist. I can see that this person is unpleasant. Why does this person persist in remaining buddies and friends with them? Why do they go into bat for them? Why are they supportive of them? Why can't they see it? Are they a narcissist themselves? Is that why they are drawn to this other narcissist? Well, the answer is, invariably, they are not narcissists themselves. They can be, and one narcissist could have another narcissist in their coterie, indeed could have several. But that's not typical. It's more the case that the members of the coterie remain involved for a variety of reasons. First of all, it might be out of a sense of loyalty. For instance, it's a family member, and whilst they recognise that the unknown narcissist has shortcomings, he's my son, my brother, my father, whatever it might be, and they feel that they owe them some form of loyalty in that respect. The loyalty might also arise out of friendship. This is because many narcissists treat friends well. As I've explained elsewhere, this is because the friend forms part of the facade, so there is an invested reason to ensure that the friend is treated well to keep the facade going, and also because the friend may not interact that often with the narcissist, so they're less likely to threaten the narcissist's need for control, meaning that in such circumstances they end up being treated well by the narcissist. Accordingly, that friend who's in the coterie doesn't get to see the nastiness of the narcissist, or sometimes sees it directed towards other people, but believes that it's merited because they say, well, they've always been all right with me. They haven't caused a problem for me. We get on. In some instances, the coterie member is invested in the narcissist because of a professional relationship. For instance, the narcissist pays that person, and therefore, in order to keep the flow of money going, that individual thinks, well, I can see at times they can be difficult, but I'm getting paid, I'm keeping my head down and my mouth shut, I will support them. In other instances, the narcissist's behaviour supports the agenda of that person, and therefore they get on board with it. They might live vicariously through the narcissist if they're more famous than them. They may well subscribe to similar views, and therefore that creates a sense of loyalty. But often, the coterie member is actually either unaware or unappreciative in totality that they're dealing with a narcissist. They don't think, I know they're a narcissist, but fuck it. They think that there are valid reasons for supporting the narcissist. And with someone like this one's wife, one of the ways that she engenders loyalty and support amongst her coterie members is through two methods. The first is this faux flattery and friendship that she generates by saying that she cares about them and so forth. But they fail to pick up on instances where the narcissist is not quite as friendly as you might think. The second aspect for this one's wife is playing the victim by making it seem like she's just a lovely person who doesn't merit all of this horrible behaviour. The emotional empathy of the coterie members is utilised in a sense of protection for that person, to support them. They don't like to see somebody being bullied. They're not being bullied, but the narcissist, as the eternal victim, portrays themselves as being the victim of bullying. And therefore this causes the hapless and unaware coterie member to be supported of them. And we have an excellent example here of a coterie member who is being completely duped by the manipulative behaviours of this one's wife, causing him to behave in a manner which is best described as a bit of a twat. Yes, it's the gay Asian chum that is Daniel Martin. Not that his sexual preferences or race has anything to do with it, apart from the fact that they're box ticking that this one's wife would engage in as part of character trait acquisition. See how tolerant I am? One of my friends is both gay and Asian. I'm a lovely person. She doesn't give a rat's ass about supporting any of the rights of individuals, whether they're Asian or gay. She simply utilises those characteristics to make herself look good. Daniel has been duped into thinking that this one's wife is his friend. He clearly can't understand that she's not. He doesn't realise, for instance, she doesn't know which hand he uses because she's so self-absorbed that despite the supposed amount of time that they spent together, she's never picked up on that because it doesn't matter. He, for instance, hasn't taken into account that he's just being utilised for her show, whereby he just stands there as a bit part, repeating what she has said while she talks about herself. He also doesn't take into account that apparently he's come to visit and he ends up basically being a hired hand, and rather than being able to relax, he has been conscripted into making candles and subject to having burns if he ever uses her disastrous bath salts. Nevertheless, Daniel isn't able to recognise that he is being used. He isn't able to recognise the horrible behaviours of this one's wife because she has convinced him that she is a lovely person and that she is the one that is being bullied. And this shows as a consequence of a report by Richard Eden in the Daily Mail, where he writes, "The Duchess of Sussex is rising above criticism of her widely panned Netflix series. One of her closest friends refuses, however, to take the sniping lying down. Makeup artist Daniel Martin, who appears with Prince Harry's wife in the first episode, has, I can disclose, taken to social media to attack critics in the most personal way. He's trolling the trolls." One Instagram user, Maria Sampson, a London-based fashion design student, commented on an article about the first episode, in which this one's wife prepares bath salts for Martin's stay at her home. "It's got to the point where you just have to laugh now," Sampson remarked. At this, Martin, who prepared this one's wife before her royal wedding, took grave offence. In response, he mocked Ms. Sampson's fashion designs, which she displays on her Instagram page. "Like your designs," he jeered, adding that Ms. Sampson didn't have the status to dare comment on this one's wife's handiwork. "Don't come for my friend without receipts," he warned, melodramatically. Now, such behaviours exhibited by Martin are hypocritical, that they fail to recognise the poor behaviours of this one's wife. They are belittling. They seem to show an absence of emotional empathy for Miss Sampson in commenting in such a way, and they're high-handed by suggesting that she doesn't have the status to comment on this one's wife. Well, first of all, he doesn't know Miss Sampson, but of course that doesn't stop the sugars always trotting out that very boring phrase, "you don't know her." Furthermore, this one's wife's status was only earned through marriage. She's not gained it as a consequence of being elevated through birth or through actual endeavours. Nevertheless, here he feels motivated as a coterie member to defend her, and he defends her by being nasty, by behaving in a way which would be similar to that of the conduct of this one's wife. As mentioned earlier, many people might think, well, he's behaving just like her. Is he a narcissist too? Well, I've not analysed Daniel Martin, but I suspect that he's not. Most likely, he's just a normal who doesn't have emotional empathy for Miss Sampson, and His emotional empathy is further eroded as a consequence of his misguided support of this one's wife. He's been duped into supporting her and thinks that he's doing her a favour by defending her in this way. Naturally, this is what the narcissist wants, a series of attack dogs that will go into battle on her behalf, because after all, she's help, I'm just a Californian crafter and tradwife. And therefore, she's not used to being horrible. And naturally, we all know behind closed doors, she is an unpleasant and nasty person, because when the facade doesn't need to be managed, then the gloves really come off. But this is an excellent example of this one's wife's coterie coming to her defence, or rather a coterie member coming to her defence, and exhibiting the behaviours whereby he clearly doesn't see what she is because he's been duped, and he ends up acting in a way which is similar to this one's wife, allowing the assertion of control through proxy. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.